Okay, picture this. 1932, Clarksdale, Mississippi. You've got this young black man, Sammy Moore, and he's like stumbling into a church.
Right.
He's beat up, clutching just the neck of his guitar, totally splintered. And his dad, the pastor, sees him and basically says, "Son, give up this music."
Wow.
Yeah, so you're immediately thinking, what on earth happened the night before to leave him like that?
That image is so strong, it just grabs you. And that's exactly where we're going today.
Yeah.
You shared the info on the 2025 film Sinners.
Mm-hmm.
And we're really going to try and unpack this wild mix of Delta blues, actual vampires, and, the harsh reality of the Jim Crow South.
Exactly. So our mission for this deep dive is to explore how this genre blending story works. We'll get into the main characters, the conflict that just keeps ramping up, and honestly some twists that really surprised me.
Absolutely. So the core concept, the premise itself is fascinating.
It really is, this idea that music, specifically the blues, has this tangible, almost supernatural power.
Yeah, it's not just background noise. The film presents it as something that can attract things, both good and evil, maybe, like a conduit.
Like a beacon, almost. It feels active, not passive, which, says a lot about the blues itself in that community.
Definitely. And jumping right in, we meet the Moore twins, Elijah, who goes by Smoke, and Elias. They call him Stack.
And they're back in Clarksdale after time in Chicago, and they haven't come back empty-handed.
No, they haven't. They've got this cash, and the film hints pretty strongly that it's stolen gangster money. Maybe Al Capone's.
Which adds this immediate, moral question mark over them. They want to do something good, open a juke joint.
Right. And this old sawmill, which itself has a dark history, used to be owned by the Klan, by this guy Hogwood, so the location is loaded.
Heavy symbolism there. Starting fresh on poisoned ground, almost.
And Smoke gets right to work fixing the place up. He needs a sign, supplies, so he goes to see Grayson Bochow.
And right away, we see he's not someone to mess with. Some guys try to rob him.
Yeah, and Smoke handles it. Quickly, like a bullet in the backside, another in the leg. Sends a message.
So they already have a reputation in town, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Meanwhile, Stack's job is recruiting. He finds their cousin, Sammy Moore, the guy from the opening scene, the aspiring musician.
The heart of the music side of things.
Exactly. And for security, they hire Cornbread, a guy from a cotton plantation nearby. Someone they know, someone tough.
Building a team from the community.
Right. And Stapp doesn't stop there. He goes down to the train station to find more talent.
And bags Delta Slim, an older bluesman?
He does. And the way he convinces him is kind of great.
The Irish beer, right.
Just the promise of some good Irish beer. It's a small detail, but it feels real, Shows what mattered.
Totally. Now, while they're getting all this set up, they run into Mary. Someone from their past.
And there's definitely history there. Some tension.
She feels abandoned, right? After her mother died, her mother was important to the twins, too.
Yeah, like a surrogate mother.
Yeah.
So Mary's hurt they weren't there. Plus, there's the complexity of her background she's mentioned as being 1/8 black.
Which, in 1932 Mississippi, puts her in a really difficult, complicated position.
Absolutely. And Smoke, he also has a past relationship to deal with. His estranged wife, Annie.
Who's a voodoo practitioner. That adds another layer entirely.
It does. And their shared history is tragic. They lost a child. Annie believes her voodoo has actually been protecting the twins.
Wow. So there's this mix of grief, belief, maybe resentment.
All of it. And despite being estranged, there's still a connection. They sleep together during his visit.
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Definitely complicated. Okay, so we have the twins, the juke joint plan, the crew, these personal histories, and then things take a darker turn.
Yeah, with the arrival of this Irish guy, Remick, he feels dangerous from the start.
And he immediately targets this racist white couple, Bert and Joan.
Uses their prejudice against them, essentially. Lures them with talk of gold. He's clearly manipulative, predatory.
And that scene with the Choctaw men trying to warn Bert and Joan.
It's chilling. Joan just dismisses them with racist insults. She's so blinded by her hate, she walks right into, disaster.
The consequences are horrific. They get turned into vampires by Remick.
Yeah, it's a stark moment. Shows how prejudice makes you vulnerable. Maybe not just socially, but supernaturally in this world.
Okay, so the evil is established, but the juke joint, it opens.
It does. And it's a huge success. Packed, music, dancing, a real moment for the community.
You see the strain on the twins financially. They're accepting scripts, basically IOUs.
It shows their commitment, though. They want this place to be for everyone, even if it means taking a hit. And Mary's allowed in, too, despite the earlier tension.
Then Sammy gets up to play. And this is where that core idea about the music's power really hits.
Oh, absolutely. His performance isn't just good, it's transformative. It's like he's conjuring something.
The film describes spirits of black musicians appearing from different times and places.
Yeah, it's a powerful visual. And the whole juke joint seems to be, like, on fire visually, but inside everyone's just lost in the music. It's intense.
And that intensity acts like a magnet.
For the wrong kind of attention. Remick shows up with the newly turned Bert and Joan.
Trying to blend in as musicians.
Right. But Smoke, he's sharp. He senses something's off. He won't let them in.
Even though they offer money, which the twins need.
Yeah, his gut feeling is strong. Then Mary steps up, tries to handle it, maybe negotiate.
She's initially taken by their music.
For a moment. But then she sees it. The reality.
What does she see?
Remick's eyes, they glow red. And he's like drooling. It's pure horror movie reveal.
Okay, the mask is off, and then all hell breaks loose.
Pretty much. It happens fast. Remick attacks Mary. Yeah. Cornbread goes outside to check on something and gets lured away by Bert and Joan.
No, Cornbread.
Yeah. And at the same time, Sammy takes Pearline, another character, off to a room, maybe trying to protect her or...
Yeah.
Well, things are chaotic.
And then Mary comes back inside. Changed.
Utterly changed. She tries to seduce Smoke. Then Stack. It's deeply unsettling.
And then the betrayal.
She bites Stack. On the neck. It's shocking, brutal. Smoke tries to stop her, save Stack, but it's too late. She escapes.
Devastating. What's left is just chaos.
Total chaos. Smoke and Slim are trying to figure out what's happening, ordering patrons out. But then Cornbread comes back.
As a vampire.
Yeah. Attacks someone. Annie sees it and realizes this isn't just violence, it's supernatural.
Then Stack.
Stack returns. Turned. A vampire.
Yeah.
Annie reacts fast, uses garlic juice, and he flees, momentarily repelled.
But the damage is done. Others are turned too. Bo Chow.
Yes, Bo, among others. The infection is spreading rapidly through the patrons who didn't get out.
So now the vampires regroup outside.
Led by Remick.
Mm-hmm.
And Stack and Mary are with them now. And Remick lays it all out.
The big reveal.
He reveals Hogwood, the sawmill owner, was behind it. A clan plot to kill the twins and everyone at the juke joint.
So human evil working with supernatural evil.
Exactly. But Remick, he says he doesn't care about the clan's racism. He has his own agenda.
Which is?
He wants Sammy's music. He thinks it can conjure the spirits of his people, his lost ancestors. A twisted kind of cultural appropriation almost.
Wow. Okay. So he offers to turn the survivors, join them.
Yeah, the classic vampire offer.
Mm-hmm.
Eternal life, power. They refuse.
Of course they do.
And that's when Remick threatens Lisa, Grace, and Bo's daughter. Makes it personal, raises the stakes impossibly high.
So it comes down to a final fight, survivors against the vampires.
A desperate last stand inside the juke joint. And it's brutal. People fall.
Ray sacrifices herself.
Yes. Slim tries to lure some vampires away. Pearline is killed. It's just loss after loss.
And Annie.
Annie gets turned. And Smoke.
Oh.
He has to stake her. His own wife.
Oh, man. That's horrific.
It is. But watching Annie die seems to trigger something like a flicker of humanity in the vampiric Stack and Mary.
Just for a moment.
A glimpse of who they were.
Maybe. Then it's brother against brother. Smoke fights Stack.
While Sammy faces Remick. Yeah. Sammy, using that broken guitar neck from the beginning.
Full circle.
He stabs Remick with it. Smoke delivers the final staking blow just as the sun starts to rise.
And the sunlight
does its job. The other vampires burn. The immediate nightmare is over.
But not the other threat. The clan.
Right. Smoke knows they're coming. He tells Sammy to run, get out of there, save himself.
And Smoke stays.
He stays to face them. He takes down Hogwood and several clansmen in a final violent confrontation. As he's dying, he sees a vision of Annie and their lost child.
A tragic end for him, but Sammy makes it.
He makes it back to the church, back to his father. But he refuses to give up the blues. He clutches that broken guitar neck and heads north.
Carrying the music and the trauma with him.
Exactly. Which brings us to that post-credits scene.
1992, decades later.
We see an elderly Sammy, and it's actually played by blues legend Buddy Guy, which is amazing casting.
Perfect. And who finds him?
Stack and Mary. Still vampires. Still together.
Stack survived.
Yeah. Apparently, Smoke, before he died, told Stack to let Sammy live. A final command.
Wow, so Stack offers to turn Sammy after all this time.
He does. Give him immortality, maybe reunite in some way. But Sammy refuses. He chooses his mortal life, his music.
And he plays one last song.
Yeah. The film ends with him reflecting. He still has nightmares, obviously, but he remembers that opening night at the juke joint
Despite everything that happened.
as the best day of his life. And Stack echoes that, thinking about his brother, the son, feeling free for that brief time. It's incredibly bittersweet.
What a story. So Sinners is just this potent mix, isn't it? The blues, vampires, the deep-seated racism of the time. It all collides.
It really does. It's using horror, the supernatural, to dig into real historical pain and the power of cultural expression like the blues. In the face of that, it tackles music, race, family, survival.
It makes you think, though, how effective is using vampires as a metaphor here? Does it amplify the horrors of racism, or does it somehow, I don't know, distract from them?
That's a great question. And what exactly is the power of Sammy's music representing? Is it hope? Resistance? A connection to ancestry that even the vampires want to co-opt?
And that ending in 1992, does it suggest trauma never leaves? Or that connections, however strange, endure? Lots to chew on.
Definitely. We've really only just started peeling back the layers of Sinners.